Welcome back to the Pleb Underground. I'm your host, Phil. Hope you guys had a great, actually, it's probably still going on, right? Labor Day weekend. Today's off for most people. But yeah, you guys know the deal. Pleb Underground is going to be grinding out the news. We're going to take a look at what's going on because, of course, it is absolutely always eventful. If you guys are ready for the signal without the slop, let's do it. We're going to dive right into the stories that we are going to look at and make fun of today. So, maybe not necessarily make fun of them entirely. Anyways, Bitcoin on the big screen. That's right. Another movie possibly in discussion, maybe a little higher caliber, maybe a little bit more mainstream. Who knows? Bitcoin for high society. That's right. What was it? I think it was Bitcoin Archive that released something about some of these luxury brands like Gucci accepting Bitcoin. Yay, that's amazing. I've always wanted to buy an overpriced handbag with my Bitcoin. Not quite. Yeah, we're going to take a look at that story because that story is not what it seems. Anyways, of course, you guys know the deal. Paper Bitcoin summer. What would this show be without a whole bunch of companies striving to become relevant in the Bitcoin space? Right? We're going to take a look at a few of the announcements. Shadiness around the bitunix exchange. Shout out to Lucky Redfish for this one. Yeah, it's kind of a weird scenario that happened there. We're going to dive into that one quickly. And finally, right, we've always have some real actual hopium, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be Pleb Underground. Real hopium. Public companies, are they starting to deploy Lightning liquidity? Like, is this possibly a revenue stream that people aren't really talking about? We're going to dive into all this stuff. Guys, you know the deal. Going to show some love to the Pleb Underground sponsor, and we are going to be right back in 30 seconds to dive into all of this drama. Here we go. Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. Okay, guys, let's dive right into it. We're going to start off with hopium, right? We're going to start off with stuff that makes us feel good, confirms our biases, right? We love this. Okay, so Bitwise, right? The guys that are making all kinds of shitcoin products. Well, they're predicting Bitcoin will reach $1.3 million by 2035. There you go, 28.3% annualized returns. You know what? I hope all of this stuff happens. I hope it reaches 1.3 million long before that. But also there's a double edge to that sword, right? If Bitcoin goes up that drastically in purchasing power, there is the non-zero chance that reality may end up looking grim during those times. Just saying. Anyways, yeah. All right. Moving on from the hopium. Let's dive right away into this story. This luxury brand Gucci to accept Bitcoin and crypto at select stores. But Phil, this is true. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, it's true, but it's an old story. Let me explain. So Gucci did make a new announcement, right, in 2025 that they're going to accept new crypto. And the new coins that they said they're going to accept is ETH and Doge. Gucci announced that they were accepting Bitcoin back in 2022. So all this is just a story bringing together old information with something new, and essentially it's just orange washing shitcoins. That's what it is to me. I mean, look, obviously I appreciate luxury brands trying to steal my Bitcoin. Trying to take my Bitcoin for their products. But it's just old news. It's a giant nothing burger. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about them accepting shitcoins. Anyways, all right, moving on from the Gucci stuff. Maybe we should dive right into Paper Bitcoin Summer. Well, maybe we'll do that. Okay, let's dive into Paper Bitcoin Summer. Here we go. So, first up the bat with the Paper Bitcoin Summer stuff. Crypto blockchain industries, or ticker symbol, I think CBI, right? 5 million pounds raised from institutional investors to accelerate their Bitcoin acquisition strategy. Now, hear me out. Looks good. Let's dive into the Bitcoin acquisition strategy. Keep in mind, Bitcoin acquisition. Over 1.2 million has been allocated to Bitcoin mining with a return on investment over 3 years exceeding 30%. Okay, that is projected what they expect to earn. Now, if you just take a look at the current mining companies that are borrowing and essentially issuing, for the most part, as much debt as they possibly can to kick the can down the road and be able to continue operations, I'm not buying that exceeding 30% thing. Nevertheless, I hope that works out. I hope that their projections are accurate. I don't buy it. Now, let's keep going here. 0.5 million, right, or $500,000 has been allocated to investment in NASDAQ-listed BNB Treasury Company, CAE Industries. So this is a company that's 2 months old, okay, with an unrealized profit of 140%. So, I mean, that's obviously they were given shares before this company went public. And to a certain extent, if they were to dump their bags right now, they'd be up 140%. However, the current holders of that stock are definitely not up 140%. Anyways, the balance is being gradually allocated, and this is great, right? Balance is being gradually allocated to the acquisition of Bitcoins to take advantage of market opportunities and the recent decline in BTC. What I find entertaining about this whole thing is they had an exact number for what they were going to put into the Bitcoin mining, right? And they had an exact number for what they've allocated to this shitcoin company. But then for some reason, it's just a balance. Did they run out of math or something for that last step? I don't get it. Anyways, but I'm sure that this is totally not a pump and dump. I'm positive if we take a look at the chart, it's that's okay. It's a turnaround story, guys. It's a turnaround story. Don't worry about it. I'm sure that this gets better. The one thing that I could say, though, is that these two stock splits here were actually not reverse splits. So good for them. Good for them. They actually did reward shareholders if this share price was going up. But unfortunately, the share price continued to go down. So I'm sure the Bitcoin strategy is going to help them out, though. Anyways. All good. Okay, moving on, because of course we've got tons more Paper Bitcoin Summer to go. There's so much more Paper Bitcoin Summer. All right, next up, we've got, the Griffin Digital Mining to merge with Trump-linked American Bitcoin. This one excites me a lot. Let's go take a look at what this chart looks like, just for the sake of it. Just for the sake of it. All right. That's what you think it is. And guys, I'm not trying to sugarcoat any of this stuff. I put up monthly charts. I don't sit there and cherry pick like 3-month timelines, 1 week timeline. You're up. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. All I care about is the long term. That's it. Okay. We all claim to be low time preference and thinking about the future and generational wealth. Well, zoom out. Okay, zoom out. These are fucking pump and dumps. Pump and dumps that are worth nothing. And you see those 3 splits you see here? Those are reverse splits, guys. So 1 for 20. That means if you had 20 shares, you now have 1. And then they did another one. If you had 20 of those shares that they've already turned into 1, they're going to turn it into 1 again. And they've already done that in February of 2024. And then, because they still couldn't keep this fucking price alive because it's dog shit, they did another reverse split. This is what companies do to stop themselves from being delisted and to stop people from trading their shares. They just keep doing these reverse splits. It's just fucking shenanigans. Anyways, I'm sorry for cursing and yelling and all this stuff, but I can't help it. I can't help it. It's such dog crap, and you're being shilled this by people in suits that look like they're serious, and you take them seriously, and it's just wrong. It's just garbage. They're selling us trash. Anyways, okay, I'll stop. Next, because that's right. There's always more Paper Bitcoin to go. All right, let's see what's up. What else do we got? Okay, next up on the block, we've got this AirNet technology. Ant just bought their first 819 BTC. It's good stuff, right? I think that's pretty good stuff. I definitely think that's good. That's a shame. Why do they all look like this? Huh? Why do they all look like this? Nobody stops to think. It's too bad. It really is too bad. Anyways, okay. Yep, that's for that one. Let's see what else we've got. Let's keep going here on the paper Bitcoin summer. What else do we have? All right. Next. Dutch crypto firm Amdex targets 1% the Bitcoin supply with $23 million treasury. All right. Looking good. It's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. We've also got Bitstrat Holdings, right? They've purchased their first 10 Bitcoin. Very nice. Another company comes to the table. I appreciate this stuff. Now, look, of course, I've said this 100 times, right? They're not all going to be winners. Most of them, in all fairness, are going to be losers. It's just the way it works, all right? It's a lot of companies that are just using, basic shenanigans to get attention. And I'm helping them out here, right? I'm helping them out by giving them some attention. Even the small attention that they are getting from this channel. Anyways, let's move on. All right, that'll do it for paper Bitcoin for today. We appreciate all the paper Bitcoin stuffs. And yeah, we're gonna move on to this weird thing that happened at the bitunix exchange. This has to do with virtual asset service providers, or VASPs. Okay. bitunix announced it acquired a license, then deleted it. Okay. So bitunix had acquired a Philippine VASP license through Entrance Remittance International Corp. and said the exchange was authorized to provide a range of regulated services, including crypto buying, selling, and trading. Oh, sorry, guys. I just brought up the same page. My bad. Okay. But that's not the whole thing, right? Sorry, guys. Okay. Archive BSP records only identified Entrance as the registered license holder. No public BSP listing was shown for bitunix itself as a VASP licensee. So it seems as though bitunix possibly lied about having proper licensing for the virtual assets and to be able to provide virtual asset services. Pretty scary. No clarification or follow-up statement was issued. So this is just kind of like one of these things that's being buried. But look, guys, to me, the TLDR of this stuff, I've learned my lessons with exchanges. Okay. I know that people want to believe that exchanges are secure because a lot of us, right, we've been thoroughly indoctrinated with third-party institutions and trusting third parties. Okay. But when it comes to your Bitcoin, you gotta be careful. There is no reversing these transactions. I mean, look, to a certain extent, if you take a look at what happened with Mt. Gox, I mean, this is 10 years later or 12 years later, and people still are waiting for closure on that. Granted, there are some people who have gotten some of their funds back, but my point is that do you want to end up in that type of situation? It's just not worth it, guys. It's just not worth it. Self-custody, okay? Self-custody for the win. All right. Moving on to, let's see here. All right. The Satoshi movie. That's right, guys. So look, if we weren't, and this is my own personal opinion, underwhelmed enough with that other Netflix one that came out where somehow Peter Todd was Satoshi. So it looks like they're going to do it a little bit maybe bigger this time, right? We're going to get some bigger stars. Hollywood thriller. That's right. It's going to be made into a thriller, Killing Satoshi. Interesting framing. To explore Bitcoin mysteries. So the film Directed by Doug Lyman and starring Casey Affleck and Pete Davidson, will focus on efforts to reveal or protect Nakamoto's identity. I don't necessarily expect them to actually be accurate in any way, shape, or form to what the stories are. I do expect this to be entertaining, maybe funny. I'm very curious, though, to see or to find out who they actually end up tapping in the Bitcoin space for their references for the material for that movie. So that, because I mean, usually when Hollyweird makes movies, stuff like that, they try to really get into the the environment, or in some cases, the headspace of the actor. So I'm very curious to see that. Nevertheless, I mean, I've watched every single Bitcoin movie that has come out just for the sake of it, at the very least, right? Just to say that I've seen them, and so that I'm aware of what's actually being said out there in the mainstream about Bitcoin when it comes, to theater. But look, I'm probably going to check this out. I don't see how it could be that terrible. I'm a big fan of Pete Davidson. I'm also a fan of some of Casey Affleck's work. So why not? Why not? Anyways, guys, yeah, that is going to do it for us for today. Don't forget, tonight, 8 p.m., myself, Sir Ulrich, and Humble Bitcoiner, we're going to be doing the roundtable. We are going to be discussing all kinds of drama. It's going to be a great time. We have the live chat going, so if you want to join and you want to join in the conversation, maybe maybe you just want to yell at us and tell us how ridiculous we are and how terrible our takes are. Do it, right? It adds to the sizzle. It's good times. Anyways, come and join us tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be live on Twitter and on YouTube. Have a great rest of your Labor Day, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.